All right, dude, let's get into this. First off, for the people that are watching, this is Brandon. We've been linking back and forth through Instagram, and finally we're able to set something up to chat about his bodybuilding, the sport in general, and all kinds of good stuff. So, dude, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself, and what you've accomplished so far.
All right, so I'm Branden Liezert. Come from a small town called Cardinal, Ontario. Population about 1500.
Which, for the record, I'd never heard of when you told me that.
And no one ever does. So then you say Prescott, and no one's ever heard of that. And then you say Brockville, and some people heard of that. But anyways, yeah. So I started training in high school. It's the regular kind of deal. Get better at sports, get more
Yep.
attention from girls, all that stuff.
How old are you now?
Seriously, but you know, it was 3 days a week, and I was training like full body, and you notice little things. You're getting a little bit stronger,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
cut to a muscle, a little bit more pop to it, and all that stuff. And I got better at sports, but I didn't really get serious till I went away to college.
Right.
Started training, at least 5 days a week, and started looking after my diet, but it wasn't really a bodybuilding diet.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a really good mentor that took me under his wing, named Brent O'Reilly, and taught me a lot of things. And probably when I was about 21 or 22, I really started taking my training seriously. I've documented, this is going to sound weird, but I've documented every set and every PR that I've ever had, and it's all written down somewhere electronically.
Really, eh?
Oh, yeah.
That's sick.
And still was I was refining my diet, but I still wasn't paying as much attention as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, fast forward, I graduated from college, got certified as a personal trainer, certified as a sports nutritionist, and so after that lull of what's going on after college,
Yeah.
I decided I was going to start prepping for a show. So I started prepping for the Coburg Naturals in 2017.
Yep.
It was a week prep. I started really lean, but I never had a coach. I did everything myself.
Good for you.
And I was farther ahead of schedule than I knew. So some complications came up with that.
In what way?
Well, I definitely dieted away some muscle in my first show.
Oh, okay.
For doubt. Yeah, about a month out, I was suffering. If I would walk on a cold surface, my feet would just cramp up. They would just
Really?
fall. Oh, yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah, I couldn't finish training legs every time from about 4 weeks out.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. But
did you think that was normal since you'd never prepped before, or did you know that you were like, okay, I didn't do something right?
I get into this mindset where it's
Yeah.
this. Okay, so I've tried really hard this prep to get better, progress from that, but people would tell me when I was 6 weeks, when I was 8 weeks out, I had lines in my glutes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you're very lean, and I think
Yeah.
when we were messaging, I said that you're very lean early.
yeah, so I wanted to not be. This time, I'm not I'm well aware of where I am,
Yep.
and I'm 5.5 weeks out, and I'm not suffering. But yeah, if the room was too cold, I would cramp up.
Wow.
It was just a really weird thing, and I was pushing myself too hard and too far, and I was stressing over too many different things, and I wasn't enjoying the process. I wasn't taking it a day at a time, and it wasn't necessarily the healthiest approach that I could have done.
Yep.
But anyways, I got to the show. I was extremely well conditioned, even though I definitely dieted off some fullness in my shoulders, my back. Anyone that sees me train knows that I'm way too competitive. No one out trains me. And I was happy that my legs stuck around.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, I still brought a pretty good package, especially for having no coach. I did my posing, I did my diet, I did everything.
You did it all, eh?
Everything was my own. So I ended up winning the lightweights at Coburg Naturals.
What'd you weigh?
Weighed in at 148.4, and I hit the stage 150.6.
Nice.
So, this time around, I'm still going to be a lightweight, and I'm still trying to. I'm going to be squeezing into that
Yeah, that's good. I did Coburg as well, and lightweights too. So I know where you're coming from exactly.
Yeah, it was. So I won my class, and I was awarded men's best poser, which is something that I really believe is like that's the
Yeah.
real bodybuilding, right? I mean, genetically you're limited in the shape of your muscle and your
Yep.
structure, but how you present on stage is something I take a lot of pride in. I'm trying to make an even better routine for nationals this time around. But yeah,
Where is nationals this year?
Toronto.
Oh, cool.
Toronto, Delta Marriott, the airport road there, I believe. So
Sweet, right on.
yeah, so it was first show was a lot of fun. I learned so much. It was really funny because I finally it was like a week out or 5 days out. I realized like, holy crap! Like not a lot of people can get in this condition or.
Well, yeah, like your like legs, like even now, like if people, I'll record your Instagram and everything in this, but like you have veins where people like don't see veins till like the day after the show after they've really carved up.
Yeah. Well, that's I believe a lot of that comes from my training style.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, you have a genetic component to your vascularity as well. Like some people get really lean.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Have the like coarsely, veiny legs or whatever it is.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of times too, I think that people just kind of expect to bring a little bit better each time out.
Yeah.
But I don't expect that. I expect to bring my best, and my best should be better every time.
I think naturally too, like people's expectations should be like realistic. Like for me, like I competed last November, and I'm gonna do another show next April. So it's been like a solid year, and like if I've got a pound more on my frame, I would be pleasantly surprised.
Of course, like I'm so meticulous. In my off season, it was a 16-month off season, really. Not off season, but it'll be from April 15th to August 4th the following year.
Yep.
Since I hit the stage again, and I, twice a week in my off season, I took measurements of my arms, around my chest, my waist, my quads.
Yeah, you're intense, eh?
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too. I have a very addictive personality, and I'm almost OCD.
Yeah.
In case you can't tell already. But I don't like to leave any out in any sort of unanswered variable.
Yep.
That I could be in control of.
Exactly.
So it's not like, I used to be, but it's not like now that I freak out whenever the scale doesn't exactly correlate with what I thought it should be, right? But like if you take, a scan of something over 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks or 16 or whatever it is, like you should be able to notice a significant amount of progress, natural or not.
Exactly.
But, like, especially if you're getting into competitive bodybuilding in either stream. What I always tell my clients, my personal training clients and my nutrition clients is health and fitness isn't exactly what it is to you as what it is to me, and vice versa.
That's a good way of putting it. Everybody's got their own perspectives, right?
You think I would put like a 50-year-old woman that only lose 5 pounds in 20 weeks like through a workout like I do, like 7 and 12 times a week or something like that? You'd be crazy. On the other side of that, like I love going into the gym and pretty much torturing myself to the point where like I talk to myself during sets. I yell. It sounds like police going off. Ric Flair is like on the other side of the gym or something for some people. But that's just how I train.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go. Like I'd be a much less happy person if I only trained 3 times or if I didn't follow a strict diet. And stuff like that.
Yeah. I find too. It's funny you say follow a strict diet. I find it harder almost to not be on a plan and feel like I'm doing anything remotely productive. Like when I'm on prep, I feel like $1,000,000, even though like it's slowly killing you. But like just having that, okay, this is my meal 1, this is meal 2, this is when I eat it. Like that for me, it's you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like it's having that, right?
Yeah, sometimes a structured approach is like the best approach, and it doesn't necessarily have to be super intense. Like you don't have to be like dieting, like I'm dieting for nationals or anything like that.
Yeah.
But as long as you have a structured approach and you have, guidelines and, something to hit, like, it kind of keeps your mind focused, right?
100%.
Like, one mistake I made last year for sure was I didn't take the best route of my post-show rebound, like my first 3 or 4 weeks after the show, right?
Guilty for sure.
Yes, everyone is, and these are all things too. Like I hold myself way too high of a standard. Like genetically, I'm never gonna be, like super like big or anything
So
like
let's
that.
just hold that for a sec. When did you know that you're not gonna be like, how tall are you?
5'9" or 5'10".
Okay, so when did you know you weren't gonna be 6 foot with 20-inch arms?
You know what? Like,
that was a tough pill to swallow for me.
yeah, I probably when I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Like, some people still are delusional and they go through life until they're like 28 and they're just like, oh, like this
is the year.
This is the training plan. This is the diet. I'm gonna put on 20 pounds this year.
Yeah.
Some people, they kind of like admit defeat and kind of a little bit more realistic whenever they're like 18 or 19. But
Yeah.
I don't think I was like ahead or behind for that. I think honestly, like one of my biggest fears in life, not just in bodybuilding, is being delusional.
Yep.
So, and you see a lot of people in the fitness industry in total that have this little bit of delusion, and sometimes they can kind of like cure it or dissipate it, but a lot of times it just kind of grows and grows and grows.
Yeah. Waiting for that one day, or like you said, that magic program. Like, okay, I just found strong lifts 5x5, and this is gonna be the secret. This is it.
Like, how many people too do you see backstage too? And listen, honest to God, everyone that gets on stage gets my respect. At least, like to go through with what it takes to look half presentable on stage
For sure.
is a huge commitment. Takes a lot of discipline, all that stuff. But how many people think that they missed their carb up, or they didn't cut their water correctly, or whatever?
Yeah.
That's why they look bad on stage. That's not right. That's because, and I see it in my own eyes, like there will be people that I know that are going to miss their mark at nationals or at whatever show they're doing this year because they're not working hard enough, or they're not getting hard enough, or they're making it too easy on themselves. Like, bodybuilding is the one sport that's still left where if you work as hard as you can,
you have control.
You're always in control, and you're going to bring something that's at least good.
Yeah.
If you work as hard as you can. But you could have the best plan in the world. You could have the best diet in the world. You could have the best pair of eyes in your corner.
Yep.
The coach that emails you every hour or whatever.
Exactly.
You're not putting the effort in the gym and, in the kitchen. You're going to show up lackluster, and there's going to be people that have worse genetics and a worse system around them that will beat you. And that's where I find myself. Like, genetically, I'm not that blessed. Like, I have a small waist-ish, you know?
Yeah.
My shoulders, genetically, the structure of them are pretty narrow.
Yep.
I try to work as hard as I can, and I try to preach that to people. Like, you can always work a little bit harder.
Yeah. There's always one rep left.
Yeah, so why don't you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think too, you were talking there about like having you can have all the right things, but if you don't do it, like I have personal training as well, and it's like you can tell people till you're blue in the face, okay, like start eating more vegetables, stop drinking pop, blah blah. But if they're not gonna do it, and it sucks because it's the blame game, right? Like you've seen it, it's the coach's fault, or it's the training program, or it's I didn't have time for this, and it's like, look, honestly, it is all under you, right? I can't eat the vegetables for you. I can't, chuck the garbage out of the cupboards. Like, it's not, I can only do so much, right? And it's frustrating, but I think it's the name of the game as an industry as a whole, right?
Yeah, well, I pretty much absolve myself of a lot of the responsibility and, in turn, the results with the clients. Like, I always say I can't hold your hand whenever we're not in the gym.
Exactly.
You have to be able to be honest with yourself, which is, listen, sometimes that's hard for people. Sometimes people haven't ever been hard on themselves, so they can't be honest with themselves. They can't be objective. But you have to be accountable to yourself. You can, like, I tell all my clients, I'm like, if you're struggling with something, like, give me a text. Like, it might be tough love that you get back, but I'll be there for you. I promise you that.
Yeah, whatever that is.
You know, and it's like a ripple effect. Like, once you start taking responsibility for the things that are a little bit easier to take responsibility for, you know, like having a drink on the weekend when you know you shouldn't be, or if you got a weigh-in coming in the next couple days, or to cheat on your diet, like, that's easy. Like, don't do that, because not only are you going to be upset with yourself, you're going to be upset with the scale, I'm going to be upset with you, I'm going to be upset with all this stuff. But it just feels good. And like my last point, working just that little bit harder every time you step back into the gym, and I know it sounds cliche, but it'll teach you things, it'll teach you transferable skills that you can put toward anything.
Yep.
And believe me, I have the most selective work ethic that there's ever. Like,
he says with confidence.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, there's tons of things that, like, I dread doing, and, you know, it's not very fun or enjoyable, and I might not even be good at them, but it's still good to do those things, and it's still good to get those things done.
Yep.
And when you do the things that you're not good at, and especially if it's something new, something that's, like, difficult, that feels really good, being able to say that I did that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And that's something that you can take from the gym, and it can kind of spread to other parts of your life. Totally.
No, that's a good way of putting it. It's as I've talked to clients about, like, what bodybuilding has taught me outside of the gym, and it's discipline, it's work ethic, like you said, it's setting a goal and following through with it. Like, there's so many, you know, as you said, transferable skills and stuff that can carry outside of the sport itself, and that's one thing, like, I'll be forever grateful for, like, setting that goal and then being able to be productive and work towards that, for sure. Now, you made some notes that you want to talk about that were pretty cool. Like, it's not the typical, like, oh, what's your training split? Oh, like, what carbs are you having around your training? So I want to dive into that a little bit, and let's talk about your motivation from the start. Now, you said you had some peers that, you know, taught you some stuff at the beginning. Is that kind of what got you into it, or did you always look up to, like, Arnold and all that kind of stuff?
No, so, like, sometimes you hear bodybuilders and they'll be like, you know, I want to look like He-Man or, you know, Superman and all this stuff. You know, I was getting bullied and all this stuff, but it really wasn't that. Like, it really, honestly, I kind of always had this, like, knock on the back of my head for, like, progression.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be better, not necessarily because I didn't think I was, like, good or anything like that, or I didn't was good at certain things. I just, like, I always knew I had something in me to be a little bit better than I was.
Yeah, like personal progression kind of deal.
Yeah, so, but, like, for sports, like, I guess whenever you realize, like, you said when you realize you're not going to be 6 foot and have, you know, 20 charm. Like, when I was in, like, my last couple years of high school, I was like, okay, that's when I finally realized, okay, I'm not going to play professional sport. Like, I played sport.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't until I was, like, 17 or 18, and this is, like, weird. This is the first time I'm saying this out loud, but, like, I thought I was going to play in the CFL, or, you know, like, you know, play high-level sports my entire life, and I was like, okay, that's definitely not going to happen.
That's not in the cards.
You know, definitely not. I was pretty good at basketball, but I was like, you haven't grown, you know, more than an inch since you were 16, so, and you're not 6'5", so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
But, like, one thing I knew I could get better at was, like, I could get stronger, and I could my physique. So, actually, one day, me and my mom were walking around a church, like, book sale.
Okay.
I found Bill Pearl's Encyclopedia Getting Stronger.
Encyclopedia of Getting Stronger. That's a good one.
Oh, man. Okay, I took that to, like, my classes, my English class and stuff like that. I would read it during, like, a reading time in high school and all that stuff. Anyways, it never left my side for, like, many years. And so it had some template programs and some pretty useful information back in the 70s or whatever. But, like, I still stuck to it. And I noticed that I was, like, yielding a pretty good versus what I was doing before. Like, gym class, or, like, we had, like, fitness week and all that stuff, right?
For sure.
And so yeah, like, that was part of, like, that was the earliest spark of motivation. But I got the transferable kind of, like, traits I guess from like my grandfather, who was like, he was a lumberjack.
Just swole.
Yeah, well, like he just worked 300, like I'm not exaggerating, 360 days a year for like at least 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And, you know, like he was one of those, like the work ethic is like, no one could impress him with his work ethic,
Yeah,
you know. And
he was that guy.
he chainsawed off his thumb one day, didn't stop working.
What a warrior.
He was a man. He was a grown
He's a grown man. That's good.
Yeah, and I don't know. I always like looked up to him. He died when I was pretty young, and like he's just one of the really revered family members, or like everyone appreciated what he did for them because my family was very fortunate, and without him, they would have been extremely less fortunate.
Gotcha.
And so I know that he can work so hard to do the things that he loves and put forth, you know, so much effort. I know I could do that. If I can put forth that much effort, then maybe I can be pretty good at this.
Right.
So I ended up getting pretty strong and throwing on some muscle. And like from the time I was 18 or 19, I always knew I was going to compete sometime.
Yeah, it's a matter of when.
Exactly, a matter of when. So then I started getting into the actual bodybuilding part of it.
Yeah.
And like looking up, you know, like I mean Dexter Jackson, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, Melvin Anthony, Tony Freeman, those were the guys at the start. Those were the guys that I was really, like, I gravitated towards them.
Yeah.
You know, there's different ones that, like, come and go now, but you get to a point where you realize, especially competing naturally, you might not have it in you to look. So, what do you do? So, now my motivation comes from, and it's cliche as hell again, but I want to be my best. And once I get my best, I want to elevate that. Because bringing something new and impressing yourself, especially if you're someone like me that's super competitive and very objective and a realist, like if you can actually impress yourself,
that's legit.
Yeah, it's a really rewarding feeling.
That's the one thing too with bodybuilding specifically, is it's an objective sport, right? Like 6 of the judges at nationals might think you look great, but 2 of them might not. Right? So you got to take that with a grain of salt. But if you yourself can be like, okay, like I look at this picture from nationals to Coburg, and you're like, all right, Coburg is dead in the water. Like this new guy runs the show now. Like I think that's a good way of looking at it. And I think it's hard because it's so, like, with social media now, like bodybuilding's everywhere, right? So you look at all these physiques and you're like, man, like where are my 20-inch arms, or where are my huge calves, right? But you got to look in the mirror because that's the one that matters.
Yeah, it can be hard. That's the one thing I always tell my clients too, and like anyone that follows me on Instagram or Facebook during a prep, you'll realize that I keep all of the photos, all of my progress that I ever take.
Yeah.
You know, I pretty much do, and it's very important. And that's why I'm trying to get out of this tunnel vision mentality. This prep is, you have to prioritize your own comparison, like self-comparison. You can't, I mean, and last prep too, and this prep, and I make, like, it's no secret, I look, any competitor that I can find that is going to do nationals, I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
He's even close to the same condition as me. You better believe that that's going to motivate me for that day's workout, and then I am hoping he's posting another picture tomorrow.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I wonder how many people do that, because I think people see stuff and they're instantly like, "Aw," but you see it and you're like, "All right, let's go."
Yeah, for sure. And I was like that. Like when I played football, I mean, I wasn't an extremely good football player. Like I played in city leagues and stuff like that. And I was, like, good for the city leagues. And I got invited to a couple camps, but like I would play wide receiver or I'd play outside linebacker. Played both sides, and my mouth never stopped moving. And that's kind of
people out.
Gym too. I'm like, I like to be outspoken. Like it's playful always. I'm never ever trying to actually like put anyone down.
Yeah.
But some people shy away from that, and some people just put themselves in a bubble and say that my back is going to be good enough, or my,
I just want my participation ribbon and call it a day.
Well, exactly. Here's the thing. Like, sometimes, like, my best might not be good enough.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the difference between me and 95 out of the other 100. I'm going to be damn sure I bring my best.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, say I'm going to do my best. I'm going to bring my best. And there's not going to be any other... It's not going to fall to one side or the other. It's going to be my best. If that's not good, then I'm still happy with that. But my best is pretty good. So we'll figure out how that goes.
Yeah,
so that's,
and then how the chips fall.
Exactly. So that's why I'm not afraid to look at other people's pictures. I don't want to like protect myself, and like a lot of people are like, "Oh, get in your own head." Like, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
If anything, if there's someone that I'm thinking that they're better than me right now, I want to see that so that I don't just show up and think that my best is the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You want to go in ready for a battle.
Well, if it's a battle or not, like actually. I know competitors too that like they would dread if they only got up on stage and they were the only one in their class. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like a class win and I don't have to, I don't have to hit a pose. Like that would be great.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to be prepared if there's 25 people in my class or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like I don't necessarily want a battle. It'd be great to just show up there and know I cakewalk thing. When I won Coburg's, apparently I walked the class, and I thought I was losing. Like I was up there, and I was just like, "What the?" Like, because I saw guys in my class getting tanned up, and I was just like, "Whoa, look at that guy's pecs!" Like, geez, that guy's got a thick upper back.
Yeah.
And like,
it messes with your head a little bit, eh? Like I know what you mean. When I was doing nationals last year, like there was a few of us backstage, and like you just look around and you're like, "Oh." You're good.
Yeah.
You're just getting tanned up, and you're like, well, this is me.
Yeah. When I was backstage getting tanned after that at Coburg, I went back to the hotel room and I just kind of like quietly went to my mom and I was just like, "Oh, we're getting second place at best. We're getting second place at best at the show." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, I was like, "Oh, I saw another guy in my class getting tanned. He's." And then I came off stage. I actually came off stage at Coburg, and I was ready to just pig out.
Yeah.
I do love food, and so, anyways, someone stopped me, and she was just like, "Where are you going?" And I was just like, "Oh, I'm going to get a donut." Like
now.
Dieting for 14 weeks. I'm going to get a donut, and whatever happens at finals happens at finals. She was like, "You're crazy. Like you're fighting for the overall. You walk that class. Like
yeah."
Stick to your plan," and she's like, "You can have a donut in 5 hours instead of in 30 minutes. Like you're gonna
just chill. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's talk about your last off season. You said that was a subject you wanted to hit. So dive into.
1 sec, I gotta grab my phone charger. I forgot to charge this puppy up.
Oh, the struggle. Oh, we get an apartment tour or what?
Yeah, I guess so. Grab my charger here. Okay, now to find us. Hopefully you can edit this out so I don't look like a dork.
I'll figure it out. Please hold.
Oh, we'll just turn this sucker around. There we go. How's that going? How are we thinking? No. Now, which side is my camera on? Okay, that looks like that might still work. I'll just turn this around.
We're good.
Change of scenery here.
Yeah, we got a treadmill now in the background. Nice.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so now I'm at a different level, but it still works. I could probably put it up higher if you want.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about off season. What you did to get ready for nationals.
Yeah, so I guess we kind of went over that, and I tend to ramble on. I'm very well aware of that. But yeah, like a lot of people, I think it's really important to actually try and get the biggest yield that you can out of your off season.
Yep.
I have tons of friends that are natural competitors that want to get back on stage 4 months after they are on stage, and so you're only eating in a surplus for how long?
A week.
6 weeks. 6 weeks or something like that. You can't put on to me, I think honestly, 3 or 4 pounds of muscle in a 12-month span for a natural athlete is a good yield. Like
Yeah, that'd be impressive.
I mean, outside of that too, like I work at GNC part time too. I pick up a few shifts a week there, and like, how many people come in there and want to put on 10 pounds of muscle this summer?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, oh, well, it doesn't work. You know, but you try to help them out the best you can, and let them down slowly, you know, or easily. But yeah, so it was 16 months really. And I feel like, according to my calculations, like I said, it was Monday and Thursday after the first month of celebrating and, you know, eating like a bit of a piggy.
Yeah.
That I started measuring, you know, multiple body parts twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
I would still weigh in every day.
Wow.
And I kept all of my weights that I used for every workout in my entire off season. So I try to limit variables that are, you know, I always want to control as many variables as I can. Yep. So, yeah, like, the focus in this off season was my back and my shoulders. And the late, great Winston Roberts told me to, you know, that's where I needed the improvement. And, you know, consulting with everyone else that was kind of in my corner, that's where I needed to work on. So, I put up a lot of comparisons on my Instagram of my back from, you know, 16 months ago or 14 or however many it is right now to when I was, you know, at this point last year during the prep and COVID.
Right.
And definitely my upper back's improved, and definitely my deltoids have improved. But I get very frustrated when people only focus on contest prep and not off season.
Yeah.
This was my first real off season. So this is the first time that I really ate with a purpose for at least, like, it was like 12 months I ate every day still with a purpose. Like, and you think I didn't have a cheat meal or something like that, you're crazy. Like, I still had a cheat meal probably once every 3 or 4 days, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was all still within my structured programming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you still had the overall plan in mind.
Yeah, of course. And it's not like it would be binge eating, or it would be like I'd have like a tub of ice cream just because, you know, like, I'm not an emotional eater. I do love food, but like, you have to have that discipline in your off season too. It makes no difference for me, I'll just put myself in this situation. If I look, which I'm not going to, but if I look the exact same at nationals than I did at Coburg, why am I getting back on stage?
Yeah. And that 12 months didn't get anything.
Down the drain.
Yeah.
Down the drain. It's a waste in bodybuilding terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think anyone that's not contest prepping or trying, you know, getting ready for a photo shoot, like, you should be eating with purpose and a caloric surplus if you're trying to gain muscle.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You add different layers onto it. Like, I mean, obviously, someone that's trying to put on muscle for a bodybuilding stage versus someone that's just trying to, like, you know, get bigger arms or something like that is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. But for every, especially natural bodybuilding athlete, you have to give yourself an adequate amount of time to make a noticeable difference in your physique.
Yeah.
When you step on stage.
Now, did you have like a meal plan structured out, or did you just, you know, kind of MyFitnessPal your macros? Like, how did you?
Oh God, no. I don't fit your macros. Nothing is like that. I've been actually. You can check my Instagram. Anyone that's watching, I've been eating the same meal 3 for 14 and a half months now. My meal 1 has been the same meal 1 for 14 and a half months now.
Is meal 3 the one with the pineapple?
Pineapple, avocado, sirloin steak, white rice, onions, peppers. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's a damn good meal. Every time you post that, I'm like, that's good.
I look forward to that meal every day.
Yeah.
But the only difference is maybe like once a week, or once, like I said, twice a week, I would switch one of those meals out for a cheat meal.
Yeah.
So instead of having that, you know, I would go out to a restaurant with my friends, or I'd take someone on a date or whatever else. I couldn't find friends or couldn't find a date, I'd go grab some donuts or something. You know, Whatever it
Perfect.
is. But primarily, yeah, like I like everything structured, just like we talked about before. That way, it's not like my mind can kind of veer or anything. It's just focused. It's just straight ahead.
Yeah, this is what I do. This is the goal.
Yeah.
Cool. So you said your back and your shoulders. That was the. So what did you do to tackle that? More volume, a session a week. Like how did you kind of attribute that growth to?
So, like while I was learning, I had different people that were a little bit more prominent mentors. Like when I was really young,
Yep.
they always told me to stay away from compound movements because they'd thicken up my waist.
I
And
I heard that one. I think everybody has.
and who knows? Um, but in my case study, it hasn't. My waist is going to be smaller this year than it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Not by much, but I'm thinking by about a quarter of an inch.
Nice.
Anyways, I drilled deadlifts. I drilled pendlay rows.
Wow.
Like progressive overload is like that's my baby. That's my baby. I don't do like time under tension, or I don't try and it's
Yeah.
add a rep or 5 counts. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah, it came down to just prioritizing it more. Meal timing, nutrient timing, a little bit more frequency, but just more like heavy duty stuff. Like I was just kind of, not to say I was training easier,
Mm-hmm.
but my exercise selection, I just kind of refined it for what I needed. Like another thing is too, with me, honestly, whenever I'm at like 10% body fat, I have a Christmas tree, and that's just like my genetic. I don't know what it is, but like you can see like when I was like 12 weeks out, like I had lines going down my back, and like other parts of my body were still fat. I'm not saying that like it's awesome or anything like that, but some people just have that one or two body parts that like they just look crisp, like more crisp at a high body.
They just come in good.
Yeah, so like that. For shoulders, I was dealing with a little bit of a shoulder injury my last prep, and I unracked a flat barbell press before I was really set up, and felt a little sting in my left shoulder, and something was going on with my trap, so I couldn't really do super heavy presses or super heavy front raises or even side laterals.
Yeah.
And when I say super heavy, I mean relative super heavy, because I'm not that strong. But yeah, like I just think that prioritizing them, having a healthy body, and the exercise selection made a difference this year. And it's just also like it was 12 months in a caloric surplus where I could actually focus on that.
Now, speaking of healthy body, do you do much like mobility, or do you see like a physio or a massage therapist? Like what do you like? Dive into that a little bit.
So one of the I started seeing a sports medicine doctor, and
oh no!
Oh, we're good. Okay, so there we go. Don't want to kick that thing out again though. Yeah, so I started seeing a sports medicine doctor, and pretty much he told me that I was as flexible as a 6-year-old man. And like he was stretching me on the table the first time I went there, and he was trying to get my knee up to my chest, and he's like, "Okay, I need you to stop tensing." And I was like laughing. I was like,
"You're like, what are you talking about?"
"What are you talking about?" He's like, "I really need to check your mobility here." And I was like, "You're checking it, but like that's as far as she goes."
This is all I got.
So since August of the year that just passed, I've been stretching, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week. There's a couple other people in my corner too that like if I ever have anything wrong, like there's a registered massage therapist, and I try to take care of myself with supplements like obviously like fish oil and turmeric, anything that's sort of like anti-inflammatory, and I'm still not taking the most care of my flexibility and my joints and that stuff as I could be, but way better than last year. And the funny thing is, like, it helped my deadlift, it helped my squat, it helped my overhead press, it helped my bench press, and like in a matter of a few weeks, it did that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy when you really start to do your homework that it's quick, right? Your body responds.
And so that's what I tell my clients too. It's just like even that sometimes when you're just doing nothing, why not stretch for half an hour?
Yeah.
Or something like that, right? Like, I like to go to the gym. I always like to do things in a gym environment. So I'll go to the gym just to stretch sometimes.
Yeah.
But like if I'm having a busy day or if I'm feeling a little bit lazy or something like that, I still get it done at home.
Yep.
But yeah, that's about the extent of it, to be honest.
Yeah. I just wanted to quickly ask. So you started doing more deadlifts and stuff. Did you do those in like more of a strength rep range, or did you still follow like the typical hypertrophy 8 to 12 kind of deal?
So here's the interesting thing. My rep range honestly goes from about 3 to 100 on all exercises.
Got it.
So wherever I think that I can make the most progress, and if I were to show here's the other thing too. I gotta get this off my chest. So this is going to be a sidetrack. But I see so many people, and there's someone that I care for a lot. She's kind of been sort of a mentor for me at my gym that trains. But I was doing my cardio in our gym. The cardio equipment oversees the actual weight floor. There were 6 people in the weight floor, all 6 of them on their phones, which is fine. To each their own. Blah, blah, blah. However, if you're trying to make the most yield out of your time in there, you really can't be doing that. Now, some people see me on my phone, on my notes app. Is where I store about 90% of my PRs for all exercises.
Yep.
When it comes to rep ranges, like I said, it goes from about 3 to 100 on most exercises. Sometimes it only goes up to 25 for a certain exercise, or it only goes as low as 6 or 8, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm only on my phone to change my song or to see what number I have to beat for that set.
Yep.
There's a huge problem with people that will do a set not even till failure.
Yeah.
Scroll through Instagram for 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah. Sitting on the bench.
What are you doing? You use your time in here efficiently. You only have to be in here lifting weights and embracing the suck for 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
And if you're a competitor, you do some cardio.
Yeah, exactly.
If someone's looking after your health, you do some cardio.
Yeah.
Not that long that you're in here. Just give it your undivided attention.
Yeah.
So with deadlifts, tend to be lower today. Today when I go back in, I'm going to do lower body and I'm going to do deadlifts in a conventional stance. And I always scared of tearing muscles, so I never do mixed. I never do double under. I always do double overhand.
Yeah.
And it'll be 7 sets of 3 with 1 minute rest in between. And it'll be 1 minute rest in between or less. And I won't be texting my friends. But that's just something that has to, I made a thing on my Instagram story. I said, if you're a bodybuilding athlete, very rarely do you need 2 minutes or more of rest. If you're doing a giant set or something like that at the end of a workout, maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But what else can you think of?
No, I'm a huge fan of supersets, because it's funny you said that 45 minutes. Me personally, I don't like to be in the gym forever. I like to get in, get my shit done, and then leave. So like last night, you're doing legs tonight. I did legs last night, and I took my girlfriend and her brother in, and we did leg extensions, superset, walking lunges, and then on the last set, you wall sit till you were done. And it was it was 5 minutes of pure hell. But I'm okay, that 5 minutes, as you talked about yielding results, versus sitting on, you do your leg extensions, then you sit there for 15 minutes, and you're another set of leg extensions. You didn't move the pin at all, and it's productivity. Come on, guys, let's get it done.
And I've trained at other gyms too for prolonged periods of times, and I've seen other competitors too, and those delusional kind of the hindsight of, they tell themselves they did everything they can. Well, you didn't. Though. Yeah. You didn't. You were sitting there doing nothing for half the time that you were in the gym every day for 16 weeks.
Yeah.
Add up all that time. I can't even do the math in my head right now. You know what I mean? That's a lot of time that you weren't giving your best effort.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Especially for natural athletes, you have to give your best effort if you want to resemble something that you aspire to.
Yeah.
For me, and this year I've kind of made it a point to kind of get into the pro natural side of things to kind of like understand like who the main players are. But like, I don't look up to, like, if you check my Instagram, I look up to Jay Cutler, I look up to Lee Labrada, I look up to Sean Ray, Flex Wheeler, Kevin Levrone, Phil Heath. Like, if you want to look like anything like
anything.
And I'm talking only in terms of conditioning, obviously, not in muscle mass, but like you have to work so damn hard.
Yep. Yeah. And I jokingly said the other day, I was like, I said, people probably wonder what we're really doing here, because we walk in the gym, it's like 5 o'clock, we're out of there by like 5:45, and the people that are in there when we walk in are still there on the same machine. And I'm like, you're not doing nearly what you need to.
Yeah. Like, by the time I'm done my cardio and my training, whether it doesn't matter how much cardio I'm doing or what I'm training, like, I always wear 3 layers.
Yep.
And they're all always soaked by the end. Sometimes my hoodie isn't, but my pants, my shorts or my compression pants and my compression shorts are always soaked. My shirt and my long sleeve are soaked. Sometimes you can see people in there for 2 hours that don't break a sweat.
Yep. But their phone's dead.
But their phone's dead. Half an hour. You could be in there half an hour. You could have done the work that you did for 2 hours. Think of it. And then you can go do that for an hour and a half. You can go play on your phone for an hour and a half straight, uninterrupted, not have to do a set of leg extensions.
Yeah, there you go.
Slot, you know?
Why do you wear 3 layers, real quick?
I don't like. I'm very social and very outgoing. I just don't like to talk when I'm in the gym.
Yep.
And I put my hoodie up, and I have my headphones in, and I'm just in this nice, happy, comfortable, warm bubble.
Yep.
And it's very unfortunate, and I understand why, but people think I'm unapproachable or sometimes
you're rude and you don't want to be.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Hopefully this is coming off the right way. I'm extremely laid back and like happy-go-lucky and like jovial. But the thing is, that time that I'm in there, I want to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I would never take time out of someone else's workout because I would fear that they'd be upset that I'm limiting their productivity. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of what I feel in return, right? Like, I don't want it. To me, it would almost be disrespectful if someone came up to me and started striking up a conversation with me in the gym, right? Like, I'd just be like, this is where I come to train. You can have my number or whatever if you want to.
Meet you at Starbucks later.
Time where I'm not in here right now, but for right now, I just want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now you had a note here, why people who diet and train correctly don't always get results. Now, I think we kind of, in the whole scheme of this conversation, intensity seems to be your big kind of underlying point to that. Do you want to get into that a little bit more at all?
Yeah, I guess we kind of covered most of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people can put too much faith into a bad plan, though.
Yep.
And a bad diet.
Yep.
Not everyone can follow a loose, if it fits your macros diet, and not everyone can only train 4 days a week and get up on stage and look presentable.
Yep.
I guess that honestly, having everything else that we've already said, that kind of covers it. Sometimes you have to. I'm so happy that I figured 98% of this out by myself.
Yeah. For you, yeah. That's a big one, right? Everybody's different.
Yeah. And like I said, even with my clients that are personal training clients or nutrition clients, like, I tell them right off the bat, I'm like, none of my plans are magic. You know, it's not like this is the plan now, and if you tell anyone, guess what?
You're going down.
You're going to spread, and you're going to start breeding, all these super monstrous people.
Yeah.
It just comes down to effort for sure, discipline, the right kind of programming.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have to will yourself to do a little bit more and learn more.
Yeah.
Some people have tremendous work ethic and discipline, but they just haven't found, what it takes nutritionally, or, not really training with a certain progression in mind or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so much of it. We talked about it already, though.
Yeah. I find a lot of people, like, I know personally, like, I think I'm the only person, like, I train at Good Life, right? So it's a big box gym. Like, I think I'm one of the 3 people with a notebook, right? To track stuff. And no wonder everybody's doing the same thing, because they're not, as you said, they're not progressing at all. They're not adding that rep or that set or whatever.
Yeah. Well, after I was done training a couple of weeks ago, someone came up to me. It's not a client of mine, just someone who goes to my gym.
Yep.
And I don't know, he's probably in his mid-40s. And he said, well, you're really shaping up and all this stuff. And he's like, I've seen that, you're adding weight because I do weighted pull-ups on certain days.
Yep.
And he said, I can't get over however many freehand. And I said, okay, well, how long have you been doing these? And he's like, well, for like 8 years. And I said, are you still at the same number that you were at 8 years ago?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And I said, okay, well, there's 2 ways to look at this. Well, it was roughly the same number anyways. I said, if you were doing the same amount of freehand pull-ups to failure whenever you were in your mid-30s to mid-45s, that's a win. That's good. Not a lot of people can say that they can do that.
Yeah, congrats.
Exactly. Or you could say, yeah, you're fighting, father time, but, you really should be, still hammering out and getting, more reps, especially if you weigh less or whatever.
Yep.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Like, I just choose progressive overload because I like to get stronger, and I like to know that progression is not up to speculation.
Yeah.
It's objective. It's numerical. I don't know why it's objective.
It's concrete. It's right there.
So, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a training program like a bodybuilder has to do or whatever, but if you're trying to get better in whatever facet, you can always learn more and you can always apply more. Like, if I thought I hadn't learned anything new or gotten better from Coburgs to Nationals, I wouldn't be doing Nationals. And the same as my next show and the show after that. I want to guarantee that I have learned more, I know how to apply it, and I've executed the plan to demonstrate however long I've been working on it.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's cool. Okay, I want to wrap this up with a little rapid fire Q&A.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping.
Okay, let's hit this first. Favorite body part to train?
Legs.
Legs for sure.
Quads.
Quads specifically?
Yeah.
Because it hurts?
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like a good quad pump.
Okay, least favorite?
I don't really have a least, honestly, and everyone's going to say calves, I guess.
Yeah.
Calves.
Yeah. Because it's boring?
I mean, you're limited in your exercise selection.
Yeah, it's pretty limited. Okay, so you kind of answered this already. Physique weak points, you said your back and your shoulders.
Yeah.
Would you agree with this statement that your legs are for sure your strong point?
Yeah, my legs and my abs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your go-to cheat meal on those days?
You're gonna hate this answer, but I honestly don't have one. I like donuts. I like sweet stuff more than savory stuff. So, ice cream donuts, like Starbucks fraps. Honestly,
You take that over like a burger and fries any day of the week?
Yeah, the burger and fries, man.
Yeah.
Pizza, sure.
Pizza, sure. Now, just on top of that, after the show is like the first thing you go to is like the sweets?
After the show, I'll sit down with my family, and that's what I'll enjoy most.
Nice.
Because I get pretty isolated in the last 8 weeks of prep.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I'll be sitting at the king spot of the table, but I'll honestly ask everyone else what they want.
Yeah, that's cool.
Then it'll probably be like wings and pizza, and then there'll be dessert though for sure. And
for sure.
I really love soda, man. Like I really love soda.
Really?
So I'll have a Sprite or a Pepsi for sure. Yeah.
Nice. What did you start prep at, and what are you projectively finishing prep at weight-wise?
Okay, so I started prep 20 weeks out this time around at 183.9.
So accurate.
I plan on hitting the stage above the weight limit, but I plan on weighing in at 152.4.
So accurate. I'll be looking for that number.
Yeah, it'll be around there. It'll be right around there.
Nice. Okay, favorite bodybuilder ever, physique-wise?
Oh. Physique-wise?
Yeah, the physique that you look at and you're like, that's it.
Oh, man, that's so hard. That's so crazy hard to pick. I honestly, I like Lee Haney a lot. That's so hard. That's way too hard for me, man.
Anybody today that you look at and you're like, that's a damn good
okay,
physique.
so my favorite version of any physique is 2013 Mr. Olympia Sean Roden.
Yeah, Sean's got a good
He wasn't the Mr. Olympia that year, obviously, but that year his physique is my favorite physique ever.
Bar none.
Yeah. I loved Babe Abaspor as well.
Yep. Thoughts on classic physique versus open bodybuilding?
So this isn't a rapid fire. I'm going to give you like a 1 minute answer.
That's fine.
Anyone that has a problem with classic physique should just mind their own business. Because classic physique enables more people to kind of set a goal and reach a healthier lifestyle.
Yep.
I think it's awesome. However, I don't think that most people that do classic physique have a classic physique.
Right.
I think they just have lighter weight in a open bodybuilding kind of physique. You know what I mean? Like, I gravitate towards open bodybuilding because that's what I aspire to be. I want to be an open bodybuilder. Yep. I don't want to be a classic physique competitor. There's absolutely nothing at all against them. A lot of people would tell me that I would have an okay classic physique. Maybe, but I don't want to put myself in that sort of section. I want to be able to do exactly what I want to be able to do.
Yep.
There's a lot of people whenever things changed from the OPA to the CPA that were, they were worried about class changes, divisions, and the tier system and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. If you bring your best, then your best is your best, and It doesn't matter what anyone else's is. So for people that want to get into classic physique, I think it's a great opportunity for people to kind of see something that might be more aesthetically pleasing at the pro level.
Yep.
But you should always ultimately let your own physique decide where you go, not someone else's.
No, that's cool. So long-term goals for yourself as far as bodybuilding goes. So you got nationals here soon, then what?
So I kind of break everything down. If you've been following me on Instagram for a while, I break things down into like many goals.
Yep.
I have 4 goals. My first goal for nationals is bring my best. I have no doubt that I'll do that.
Check one.
The second goal is finish top 5 in lightweight. I feel very confident that I can do that. The next 2 are very hard. I want to win. The second goal is I want to win lightweights, and I understand it's my first crack at nationals, and I'm totally self-coached and all that stuff. But I wouldn't be training for this if I didn't think it was at least somewhat possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then my top goal is repeat men's best poser.
Oh, at nationals.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's cool.
Beyond that, I'm experience and journey driven, not goal driven generally.
Okay, that's a cool way to put it.
If you were to take something like 5 or 10 years, I don't really have goals. 5 or 10 years, I want to soak in experience. I want to do the most I can. I'd love to turn pro sometime. Yeah. But I also want to use this as an avenue to kind of help people reach their goals. Yeah. And it's not about like adding credibility to my name or anything like that. Like people that know me know I'm a person of integrity. But it's just something that with this experience, I'll be better suited to help people with goals like this.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Well, that was great. That was very informative for people that are watching, very insightful. I think people that are new to the sport that may see this, I think on the surface it's very shallow and superficial, but talking with you and myself personally, like it's not about really being this perfect figure that people are like, oh, I want to look like that, or he's got all this, he's got the best physique, blah blah. Like as you said, you want to help people, You want to teach people a healthy lifestyle, feel better, look better, all that good stuff, and that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah. Look, just one last thing too. A lot of people think, like, because I did so well at my first show that I shouldn't have regrets about starting earlier.
Yep.
I wish I would have started earlier. I wish I would.
How old are you? I don't know if we asked that. How old are you?
25.
Okay.
So, if it's something that you're really passionate about and it's not like just a flash in the pan thing or you've been thinking about it for like 6 months, if you've been giving it serious effort, if you've been putting forth serious effort, if it's something, that you're following and you look up to the people for the right reasons that are pros or whoever in the industry,
yep.
Get on stage. Not just because it's cool to get on stage and it's cool to have contest photos and all this stuff that you might get, it teaches you so much if you do it the right way, if you do it disciplined, and if you really have a commitment and determination, it'll teach you so many transferable skills that you can use, for your career, for your friends, for your family, for whatever it is. And I strongly recommend going through with it.
That's awesome, man. Good way to end this.
All right, cool.
All right, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. We'll have to do this again sometime soon.
This was so fun.
Yeah, man. We'll have to make this regular.
Okay. Well, after nationals, maybe,
Yeah, we'll get the real scoop on nationals.
Okay.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man.
See ya.